So my name is Mike Zadorozhny. I'm one of the game design leads working on Guild Wars 2. With me is Crystal Reed, who's been the designer who's been really tackling this challenge and really trying to bring this massive experience to you guys. And our driver today is Melina, who's going to be helping us walk through this and show off all the amazing things that these guys have been doing for the past 4 months. Like Mo said, we really wanted to really take the challenge to the next level and really bring in that coordination that we were kind of hoping would be there at launch, and then you guys really kind of overran it and kind of, yeah. So we're really excited about this. Let's see, we should get this thing going. So let's talk about your inspiration for this. Like, what were you looking at when you were trying to re-envision what Tequatl was going to be in this new version?
I think we wanted to keep a lot of the original stuff there because players have fought him before, and so we just wanted to punch up those elements that were already there, and that's the Mega Laser and the Hylic turrets that are around the swamp. All right, so we're going to kick this off here, and we're going to try to defeat this dragon.
So people who have seen this area before are going to notice a couple new things. Things like we now have these jump pads that have been added to help players get to a new secondary mechanic that we're going to be talking about a little bit later during the encounter. We've relooked at everything from the bone tendrils that he brings up to the ads that come during this encounter, the Hylic turrets themselves, and everything is just we kind of rebuilt this thing from the ground up. And so we have some players back at the studio, and we've gotten some help from our alpha team to kind of really show this off, because this is one of those things where you're definitely going to need more than 80 players who are well geared, that are over level 65 for this area, and can really kind of coordinate the challenge that's going to be here.
All right, and it looks like he's coming along there in the water.
In the water, brothers, sisters, ready yourselves. Tequatl is here.
Okay, so we're going to start off here, and we're going to see some of the new skills that he does. He's probably going to start off and do a shockwave. There it is. You can jump over that at any point in time to avoid the damage. And that mechanic is actually going to evolve over time, and at 50%, it's actually going to get taller, and you won't be able to jump over it, and you'll have to run away instead. The fingers here got updated a little as well. They now have these poison puddles that they throw down. You can see them all there underneath his front feet. They just end up creating some dead zones where players can't actually stand.
So is there anything that players can do to kind of combat the fact that he's going to be making a lot of the playable space not usable?
Yeah, absolutely. And so Melina is going to jump into one of the Hylic turrets here, and you can see skill 3 here is called Poison Cleanse. If she uses that on the poison puddle, she'll be able to clean that up and create some safe areas for her friends to play and to fight the dragon in.
So why don't you walk us through the other 4 skills that are on this bar?
Okay, so if you look at Tequatl himself, he's got a buff called Hardened Scales. This stacks over time, and if that maxes out, he's going to summon his bone walls and go invulnerable, and this is going to waste a lot of your time. As you can see, there's an event timer now. He's not going to stick around forever for you to defeat him. So skill number 2 on the turret is called Scale Penetration, and that will remove those stacks. On top of that, skills 4 and 5, it's a Hylic Elixir and a Hylic Salve. And you can take those and throw those off into your players in large groups, and it'll buff them and give them might and fury and quickness and protection to help them out while they're standing out there.
So this really kind of goes back to the idea that we want people who are on the turrets not only doing things that are helping it change the fight on him, but also being able to buff other players. So you get coordinated groups who are gathering around to get buffed together and then spreading back out, because he's got a bunch of different attacks where he's going to be focusing on those large groups.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to need to take players who can stay back and help the turret people and keep them protected. As you can see, Melina just lost her turret here, so we'll probably need to send a few resources back to help run the turret.
One of the other players here picked up one of the repair hammers, was able to get it back in. We've added the turrets remaining kind of a counter up there as part of the objective, so players know if things are going kind of sour in the back.
It looks like we have failed to keep the stacks up, so the bone walls are up now. We're going to have to kill these if we want to continue attacking Tequatl.
So Tequatl himself goes invulnerable during this phase, so you really have to get those bone walls down to be able to get back into it. So this really just eats up to the amount of time you have working on him.
And this is going to get back to where the players need to work together. Having players attacking Tequatl, having players on the turrets to keep the stack off Tequatl, but also buff the players who are attacking him, and then other players who are protecting the players who are on the turrets.
So while they continue to work on this, one of the things that we are going to be adding as part of this update is the new looking for group system that we've added in. So Melina, could you show us that real quick? So some of this stuff you'll see is a little bit of a placeholder, but from the tech side while we finish it up. But you'll see that we broke up the categories into the major things that we expect people to really kind of go into, from dungeons to multiple tiers and the fractals to the personal story, for player versus players, for the team arenas, the custom arenas, and then each of the individual maps for the Borderlands. Now, you'll notice in some of these things where it says, like, in this case, Anvil Rock, which is the server we're currently playing on, or Under Living World for the dungeon where it says Cross World. Looking for group is data center wide. So this is everybody in your region. You're going to be seeing anybody in North America if you're a North American player, and you'll be able to join these groups on the fly. The specific ones where it's server specific is like World versus Worlds, where you can't necessarily play with other people, or the open world content. Like if you were going to do a small invasion run on your own server, this gives you can look for things specifically for your individual server. But overall, we're definitely unlocking everything so you can actually get access to everybody who's out there. The other nice thing about this is you'll notice that like some of these parties have started to gray out. These are ones that have already filled up, but we're basically showing you off who's in them, which class is already there. We give you a custom description that players can choose in terms of what they want to look for. So if you're doing dungeons for a speed run, you can put that in there and you can specifically go out there and look for it. The nice thing about the system is that it supports parties looking for groups as well, and will only show you other parties that are groups that you can merge with. So if you're with a party of 2, it'll show you anybody who's like party of 3 or less, and it completely supports the party merging aspect of that. All right, so it looks like things are going not exactly super great for our crack team here. So why don't we help them along a little bit so we can see some of the other. But as you can see, even as these, this group is, we've got 20 players here who aren't necessarily nearly as organized as what you're going to see on live when the commanders get involved. So it is a really challenging encounter. We definitely wanted to push it so that you really do rely on people being able to buff each other. One of the things that you've seen is he still has his traditional fear that he'll do, and that's really punishing for players if you're not having other people who are breaking them out.
I even need some players on those turrets. Those bone walls keep coming up. You want to watch out. He usually does a shockwave coming right out of those bone walls, and that usually knocks a bunch of players around.
So there's a bunch of different ads that are going to spawn during this encounter. Some of them are going to go directly for the turrets and the people who are on there, but there's also some in the back that'll cause problems for players who are hanging out there. We definitely wanted to try and force players to be in the more aggressive approach towards the front of him when they're attacking him.
Oh my god, you cheater. It's not how we do things around here. Okay, so we've hit 75%. Tequatl is getting a little bored with us, and he's taken off. So now this other event kicks off where we have to defend the batteries. And great rewards could be had for us if we successfully defend the battery. And what we're going to have to do is get everyone to start going over there to protect these 3 batteries that charge up the mega laser. And everyone loves jump pads. Each of these 3 battery sites is a little different, so you can actually take some of those different types of roles with you. So this is the East Battery event, and a bunch of the bloated creepers are going to slowly walk towards the battery, and if they get there, they're going to explode. So any sort of crowd-controlled abilities you have are really helpful here. So you can lock these guys down and kill them before they get to the battery.
So you'll notice this event started a secondary event here down below, which you basically have to defend for about a minute and a half. Not just the laser, but also now the 3 batteries that are charging it. And it looks like things are getting a little dicey. Come on, guys, you can hold out.
Well, they might do it. I don't know. They're getting close. Okay, so if you head to the north battery site here, so this one's a little different. We have the Quaggan and the Undead Hylek attacking this area, and there are all these veteran grubs that spawn. There's actually a bunch of grub holes that are all located around the area, and if you can lock those holes down and prevent the grubs from spawning, you won't have to deal with them. But it will require you to spread out all over the place and keep those holes covered up. We're almost out of time here. It looks like you guys are actually going to succeed this. Now, if Tequatl returns, you should get a shot out of the sky from the Mega Laser, and this will give you a period of time where you get to do increased damage on him while he's weakened. He's going to go weaken here, but you guys left a lot of fingers up going into that event, so you have to be careful. They're going to be throwing poison, so we'll definitely need some people on those turrets to clean up this area down here so players can take advantage of the increased DPS time on him.
And just like most of the bosses we've been doing more recently, this now that we've gotten 25% of the way through, the phase has changed and some of the mechanics are a little bit different.
They are a little different. Alright, so this is typically where he would normally summon the fingers, but you need to watch out. There's also a new ability he's going to start doing now called Vortex. And if you get caught in this Vortex, it's going to pull you into a large underground room. And you need to swim out of there quickly because you're going to take damage over time while you stay in there. Melina has successfully avoided it. Let's see.
Save yourselves.
You've had practice of this, haven't you?
Where's your fear break?
Yeah. So one of the other things about this is because we want to make this really a lot more punishing, more of the waypoints in this area are going to be deactivated during this encounter. So you really need to coordinate getting people back up and making sure that you have as many people as possible in the encounter.
Yeah, so the immediate waypoint that's in the area, the Splintered Coast waypoint, is contested, so you can't use that during the fight. So anytime someone gets downed, you're going to have to make a decision. You can run back if you want from either the waypoints, the Bruludu or Carebriar waypoints, but that's probably going to take you to combat for about 60 seconds or so, and it's up to you whether you want to make that run back or to wait around until you get a res from someone else. So it's really, really important that you get on those down players right away and bring them back up.
Save yourselves.
It's too many.
That's teamwork right there, when you see too many resurrectors. See if you can find a whirlpool, would you? Nope, there it is.
Oh, you got caught. Alright, so she needs to swim out of this room quickly because she's just taking constant damage over time while she stays in here.
So this is one of those things that's another AoE that's going to show up on the ground. You just need to make sure that you're constantly moving and staying out of it. It's one of his more punishing attacks that he's going to do for players who are grouping up, who are trying to take advantage of like the elixir and the cell coming off of the turrets. So So while we work on this, what do you think was like the biggest change that you wanted to make for this, that players would really walk away remembering this encounter?
We definitely really wanted to make it so that you couldn't ignore other elements of the fight, and that would basically be the Mega Laser events and the Hylic turrets. They kind of just currently sit there, and you don't necessarily need to use them to defeat the fight, but they are a cool element to it, so we wanted to really tie those into the fight a lot and make them really fun. The turrets buffing other players helps out your team. Taking off the scales and preventing the bone walls also helps out your team.
You were expecting her to say bad down, didn't you?
Oh, did you die? Ah, I missed it.
To be fair, she was only in the down state.
Well, that qualifies.
So it looks like the group's having a little bit of trouble in the turrets because we're missing one of them.
There's also a brand new set of achievements that go with this fight that are going to require you to work together with everyone who's out here. Like the Shockwave, for example. If you jump over that 10 times, you'll be able to unlock an achievement. And the eventual reward for it is a title called the Sunbringer.
So because this is coming as part of our Living Worlds releases, we've added a whole set of achievements. There's also a unique reward that you'll see more about as we get closer to launch. But we definitely wanted to make it approachable by anybody who can come and see this, the redesigned encounter and really get a chance to try out some of these things. Looking long term, this is definitely the kind of stuff we'd like to see us do for all of the individual giant world bosses that we have. We want to really kind of push players and challenge them. We want them to enjoy these encounters and have very memorable experience with it. So things like the time limit is something that we're definitely going to be doing in the future. We're really excited to see how far we can push and see how much of a challenge we can give to you guys and what you can do with this.
So it looks like some players are feeling off here a little bit, and they're starting to take care of the creatures that spawn with the sole purpose of taking down those turrets. And that's helping out the turret have a lot higher uptime so that they can continue to take those scales off. It looks like we haven't seen a bone wall summon in a little while, so players are being much better about that. Oh, I spoke I spoke too soon. Just kidding.
Well, they're getting better at getting the bone walls down.
They are getting better. They're staying down for a longer period of time, which is good.
All right, so you guys got about 90 seconds. Somehow I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
Not unless Melina cheats again. There's a lot of poison here. Who's on those turrets? You guys need to clean up that poison. It's creating some zones where players can't stand. Yes, bat down!
So we wouldn't have wanted to put this much challenge before you guys without giving you some sort of reward associated with this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've actually gone and overhauled all of his rewards. One of the big changes you'll notice is that all the rewards are going to be awarded to you when the event is over. So all these undead that are coming out and attacking, they don't drop anything. So you don't have to worry about running around trying to loot a bunch of corpses while you're also trying to fight the boss. Just focus on the boss and the encounter itself. In terms of rewards, In terms of rewards, this guy actually has a chance to drop the new Ascended weapons. And on top of the Ascended weapons, we got a brand new reskin of them that are exclusive to Tequatl, so the only place you can get it is from this fight. We've also taken him and shrunk him down to about 0.1% of his original size and turned him into a mini pet, which is again another rare drop that comes from him. As you can see, we have failed. He's angry at the Mega Laser, thrown it, and he is leaving. These fish heads that have spawned everywhere are a condition of failing the event. They will explode and kill you, and they will persist and stay there until he comes back and until you can actually defeat him.
We're super excited about this. We can't wait to put this in the hands of the players and see how long it takes for you guys to come up with the amazing strategies. All right, so this is the first look at Tequatl the Sunless, the revised version that will be coming later this month. As always, we're going to be listening to you guys and seeing what kind of strategies and what kind of interesting things you guys come up with this, and then we're going to take all of this, the feedback, and then we're going to figure out how next we can punish you as well.